Welcome back to Jackals TV, and we're here today to watch the January 31st game between the Jackals and the Shower Hogs. First time the Jackals have played the Shower Hogs since early in the season before they made their trip up to the C Division. That was a game that the Jackals won 3-1, which was the first time they'd ever beat the Hogs, having been lost to them all last season, including in the playoffs. So coming off a win against a team they hadn't beat before, and they'll be looking to face them again here today. The Jackals, from a lineup note perspective, are missing a couple players. Two Chris's down today. Chris Marshall and Chris Stuhar not playing. Other than that, the regular lineup is here with Trevor starting in net. So let's head to the first period. We start off with the puck deep in the Jackals zone. It's going to get pushed out to Jared, who's going to chop it to center as he's falling. And watch Daryl, he's going to skate hard on that and chop it off the player's stick. Gain possession to the backhand around that other defender. Put it on net. But it gets directed off to the corner harmlessly. Jackals coming again. Loy with a little back pass to Gary Pabla, and he's going to go in hard on the left side, go wide. He throws it in front, and that player sweeps it right to Aaron, and then he has to sacrifice his body to make one block, and the puck's going to come to Aaron again, and there's a second block from that same player before Aaron puts that over the crossbar. So all of that dangerous play, no shots on net, though, by the Jackals. The chances keep coming, too. Here, Daryl finds Jer. He takes that puck hard to the net, tries to shovel it towards the net. It gets directed back off towards the corner. It's going to come back to Gary, and he throws it at the net for another chance by Jer, but he tips it wide. Jackals are getting all the chances here early. Here we see Aaron working hard along the wall, and that gets kept in. Lloyd puts it over to Gary. He's in alone in the middle. Throws it on net, and then there's a backhand that he sweeps wide with the backhand shot as the goalie is laid out flat on the ice. Back to the other end. It looks like maybe we're going to see some Shower Hogs highlights, but instead it's Chris Weeger. He steals that puck. Then he finds Jay, who's going to cruise into the high slot and rip it low. I think we'll see on the replay that does go in, but it looks like it deflects off of the defender's stick and goes in. But either way, a good shot by Jay to put it back against the grain the way he was coming, and it's going to go in low on the blocker side. 1-0 Jackals. Jackals almost give that right back. Here's a little miscommunication behind the net between Trevor and David. And that puck gets left there for the Shower Hogs player who tries to wrap around, but Trevor gets down low and makes the save. Here, this puck runs away from Aaron a bit, and this Shower Hog player does well to go in and retrieve the puck from three Jackals and try to take it wide. Bruce is forced to haul him down and take a penalty just as the first period's ending, with the Jackals now up 1-0 and on the penalty kill. Here come the Shower Hogs the other way, and they drag that puck in the middle. It gets put back to the other player who whiffs on that puck, but to his advantage because it pops out the other side, and the player coming in on the far side puts it up over Trevor's shoulder, and a power play goal has the Hogs back level 1-1. And right away, they're going to try and take the lead too as this puck gets moved up on the right side, and that player goes around Gary just as he stumbles. It tries to go in, puts it on the backhand, but Trevor stands tall and makes the save. Back at the other end, Shower Hogs make a bad giveaway right up front to Gary, who happens to catch it on the backhand, sweep it towards the net, but the goalie gets down low and makes the save. Shower Hogs getting back into this game and carrying a bunch of play here in the second, which they didn't do in the first. And here's that puck go out to the point. That goes wide, but it gets picked up by another Shower Hogs player and just thrown in front, and then it ends up on a different player who skates out from with it on the backhand, puts it up over Trevor's shoulder, and the Hogs are now ahead in this game. The Jackals are going to get a power play, though, to try and get this game back tied. You see Rob bring that puck across the line. Player gets his stick into his skates, trips him up. Down he goes to the penalty box for the Hogs. But off the ensuing faceoff, we see David with it on the point. He's going to put that down to Aaron, back to Gary, and Gary toe picks and stumbles and falls, and that puck just lays there, and that player is able to pick it up, race away on the shorthanded breakaway, and slide it through Trevor on the blocker side. And a shorthanded goal just a few seconds into the power play has allowed the Hogs to stretch this lead to 3-1. So power play still happening. Bob races over to keep a puck in, skates to the middle with it, gives it to Chris Weeger, who puts it back to Jade. He's right alone in the slot, shovels that towards the net, but the goalie gets his toe on it. And we go to the third period with a 3-1 Hogs lead. And they're looking to stretch that. There's a play that gets through Bob, and it's going to turn into a 2-on-1. Back to the other player, who goes to the backhand and slides it home. Early in the third period, miscue at center, turns into a 2-on-1 that turns into a goal. It's now 4-1 Hogs. Here's a good chance right off the draw, but David puts that up into the chest. And so the Jackals now back deep in their own zone, down 4-1, looking for some spark. That puck's going to get picked up off the wall by John. He moves it up to Daryl, who's going to drive wide with it, buy time for John to go hard to the net with a stick down and deflect that over the goalie. And it's now 4-2 with about 7 minutes left in the third period. Jackals looking to get even closer. Here's Gary with a turnover at center, moves the puck up, then watches he crosses the blue line. Gets clipped by that player who sticks his leg out backwards to ensure that Gary can't go hard to the net. And then what happens then is there's a turnover, and that's going to result in a breakaway racing the other way, looking to stretch the lead, pulling it to the forehand, but Trevor sticks with him and makes a nice save to keep it 4-2. So we can bounce back the other way. Here comes Daryl. He's going in. He puts that shot up high off the chest protector of the goalie. It bounces out. Then it's going to go to Gary in the corner, who's got John right in front. Passes it through, but it goes through his legs and harmlessly out the other side. A good chance there for the Jackals to bring it to 1 goal. And then we're going to have this play at the point. That player tries to put it through Aaron, but it doesn't work. Aaron puts it over to Gary Pablo, who slides it back to Aaron up on the backhand. And that big play at the other end results in a goal for Aaron at the other end. It's now just a 1-goal game, 4-3 for the Shower Hogs. Now, even more opportunity for the Jackals to tie this game up. As you see David in the battle in the corner, trying to get the puck, and he gets hooked down. Referee puts his arm up in the air, so the Jackals are going to go to the power play with just 2 minutes left in this game. Face off at that end. Jackals are working hard down low for it. It's going to come out to Bob, who's going to try to get a shot through, and that player sacrifices his midsection to block that shot. Bob does end up getting it back, slides it over to Chris Weeger, who loses control of it, and then the Shower Hogs are going to race the other way and try to turn this into a 2-on-1. And as they do come down the ice, you're going to watch Gary here knock that stick out of the player's hand as he was reaching for the loose puck in front. And that's a 4-minute slashing penalty as per the rules in the ASHL. So now it's 4-on-4 with just a minute left. The Jackals trying to find a way to tie this. The puck's going to bounce off the player. Here they go, racing down the other way. It's Jer with Daryl. He slides it over to Daryl, who's going to slide it back to Jer, who kind of heels it, does direct it towards the net. It looks like it did hit the goalie's pad, but they're unable to convert there to tie the games. Clock winding down, and Jer's making moves and moving hard to the net. Slides into the goalie in the post, but the net stays on, so that allows the play to continue. Daryl with the point shot that hits Darwin, and he looks like he has space on the backhand as he goes through the crease, but it goes harmlessly out the other side. And it's going to end up a 4-3 loss for the Jackals. And 4-3 losses seem to be the norm between these two teams for the Jackals, unfortunately. Let's have a look at the stats for today's game. There you see the 3 goal scorers, Jason, John, and Aaron. 3 assist getters as well on all of those goals. So let's have a look at the overall stats now. That moves Aaron into a 3-way tie for first place on the team with 16 points each. And it edges him closer to Jeremy's team leading 10 goals. So disappointing for the Jackals now. They're 1-2 in their return to the D Division. Next up for them, the Vipers, a team they lost to in the first game of the season a long time ago, way back in September. So they'll be looking for revenge, and we'll be there to show you what happens. See you then.